Hi everyone, and welcome back to Stamp with Anna, and welcome to Friday Folds. Today we're going to make a simple gatefold, and what a gatefold is a piece of cardstock. It's the same size as an A2 card. It's 8.5 by 5.5, except that it is scored at 2 1/8 and 6 3/8, so it closes like a gate, hence its name, Gatefold card. And I made this one a while back, and I made a belly band to keep it closed. I mean, it will stay closed on its own, as you can see, but I just thought the belly band with this saying was cute. It says, "You're the icing on my cupcake." And what's the icing? The icing is sweet. So that's why I made a belly band. So we're going to make this one today, except we're going to use a different designer series paper. Now I know the paper pack that we're using is retired. It retired with this last 16-17 catalog, and it's the Playful Palette designer series paper. But I still have it, and you may still have it. So, and if you don't like these colors, you can use anything else. So is my theory is with the designer series paper is much like my theory with the ribbons. I have it, I'm going to use it. So I'm using it up. So that's where we got this. But again, you could use any kind of paper you want. So what we need for supplies is our base, and I used the Sweet Sugar Plum, and again it is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 2 1/8 and 6 3/8, which makes the gatefold. Then for our middle piece here, we need some Very Vanilla, and this is cut at 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And then for the top one, I didn't have any more of that paper, so I'm using this pattern here, so it's going to make it look a little different. And this is cut at 1 5/8 by 5. And you need two of those, one for either end of the gatefold. Then we need some scrap vanilla so that we can stamp and punch our two components, top and bottom, of the cupcake, and another piece of scrap so that we can stamp the sentiment. Then we need, for our band, we need two pieces of paper, and I've chosen to use Blushing Bride and Very Vanilla. The Blushing Bride is 1 1/4 by 9, and the Very Vanilla is 1 by 9, and then we're going to score that, but we'll do that when we get to that point. So the first thing we're going to do is assemble our card. So we're going to, with some snail, where did I put my snail? Here it is. With some snail, we're going to attach the Very Vanilla pieces to the gatefold. And we're going to center that up. And when you put these down, you do want to try to make sure that they line up at the top so that they're straight when the card is complete. And then we're going to put our printed paper onto that. And again, we're going to make sure that we center it up. So now that is complete. Our gatefold is done. So now we're going to do the decorating. And I used this Sweet Cupcake set. And it's 3-step stamping. The cupcake and the cupcake paper are 3 different steps. You stamp 3 different times to make the different dimensions of the cupcake. And then I'm going to use the coordinating framelit set that's called Cupcake Cutouts. And it has It has the framelits for the top and the bottom of the cupcake. And it also has a banner framelit where you can mount either the sweet sentiment that we're using today or the wish. And then it has a cutout for the candle, which is also a two-step stamp. And it has a cutout for the flame of the candle. And then it has this little swirl here, and there's a cutout for that. And then there's also just a little frame that you can mount any of these words on, as well as this swirly border. But for us, we're just going to use the cupcake. Now, when you open this stamp set, the pieces of the cupcake are marked, so you know which ones to use first. This is marked 1, this is marked 2, and this is marked 3. 3 is the flattest, most solid, so it's the back. And I do it the opposite. I don't do 1, 2, 3. I do 3, 2, 1. And that's just my preference. You can do it however you want. And I'm going to show you what I mean. And you can mix and match a bunch of different colors, but I'm going to use all one color. And because I'm stamping on top of, and on top of, it's going to get darker with each layer. So I'm going to use the first stamp that's marked 3. I'm going to mount it on my block. I'm going to ink it up with Blushing Bride. And then with my stamp pad, because it's photopolymer, I'm going to stamp. And I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to mount the one that's marked 2. And ink that up with my Blushing Bride. And because it's photopolymer, I can see exactly where I'm stamping. There's number 2. And that's pretty the way it is, like that. But I'm going to use number 1, and use that. Stamp that up, ink that up with my Blushing Bride, and position it. And there we go. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the cupcake holder. And again, on the sheet, the cupcake holders are marked 1, 2, 2, and 3. But again, I use them 3, 2, and 1. And that's just my preference. Like I said, you can certainly do it however it works best for you. So I'm going to use So Saffron for my cupcake bottom. And so I'm going to take the one that's marked number 3, and I'm going to stamp it right there. Then I'm going to take it off my block and grab the one that's marked 2. And ink that up. Just bring this down so I can see it a little better. And stamp that. Then I'm going to take the one that's marked number 1, ink that up, and I'm going to line it up and put that right there. Okay? And now I'm going to use the coordinating framelits, and I'm going to run this through my my Big Shot. So they're going to cut out just like that. And I'm going to recommend, when you put your sandwich together, that you use the magnetic plate. So the sandwich would be the magnetic plate, an acrylic plate, your paper with your framelits, and then another acrylic plate. The magnetic plate will keep these nice and sturdy so that they don't move all over the place, and you'll get a nice crisp outline on them. So I'm going to go run those through, and I'll be right back. Okay, and here we have it. We're back with, sorry, I'm just adjusting there, the top and the bottom of our cupcake. Now that's going to go onto our card with some dimensionals. I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on the bottom and 3 dimensionals on the top. And then I'm going to attach it to my card, just to give it a little bit of nice dimension. I'm going to put it right about here. Now the nice thing about these framelits and this image is that you'll see the cupcake. See the dip here? The cupcake fits perfectly right in there. And there we go. So there's our cupcake. Now on a piece of scrap paper, I'm going to stamp my sentiment, which says, "You're the icing on my cupcake." Let me just find that here. And I'm going to do that in sweet sugar plum as well. There's that. And then for this, I'm going to die cut it using the Stitched Shapes framelits. And this is a phenomenal set. It just looks so nice. It adds a border that looks like it has stitching on it. I'm going to cut this out and I'll be right back. Okay, and here it is all cut out. See the little stitching on the top? That just adds so much. It's so cute. Now I'm going to attach that right here. And as you can see, the oval is larger than the flap on my card. So when I attach it, I have to be mindful not to put any adhesive on this right here, this little piece here, otherwise it's going to stick. So I'm going to grab my snail. I'm just going to put some adhesive right there. And there we go. Okay, so we're almost done. Now, the next thing we're going to do is make our band. So I have my Blushing Bride, which is 1 1/4 by 9, and my Very Vanilla, which is 1 by 9. I'm going to attach those. I'm going to mat those. Okay. Nice and even. And now, so I'm going to bring in my scoreboard and I'm going to score this so that it will fold with the card. Now this card is 4 1/4 inches wide, but I don't want to score it 4 1/4 because then the band is going to be too snug. So I'm going to score at 4 3/8. And you're going through 2 pieces of cardstock, so you do want to give it a good score. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to score it at 8 3/4. And that's where I'm going to attach. I'm going to attach it. Okay, so here we go. We're going to bend this and bend this. And on this top part here, you could use some snail or some fast fuse, but I'm going to use some tear tape because I want to make sure that this is nice and secure each time that it comes off the card. And let me see where my pokey tool is. Okay, I'm going to take this piece off. And now I'm going to bend this. And make that. And there's my band. So the band is going to fit beautifully over my card. See? So now we just need to cut out the sweet. So for that, we're going to use a scrap piece of sweet sugar plum, excuse me, and the die that comes from the coordinating cupcake framelits. I'm going to just run this through my Big Shot and I'll be right back. Okay, here's my sweet. I'm going to flip it over and with, let me just pop that little hole out. With my fine tip glue, I'm going to come in and just add a little bit of glue strategically so that it doesn't fall off my paper. I'm not saturating it. I'm just putting it on the ends. I'm I'm going to turn it over and position it on my card and press gently. And there we go. And if you do find that you have some glue that has smudged, a glue eraser, adhesive eraser is the perfect thing to clean that up. Just wait for the glue to dry and then rub any glue off that you have. So there you go. I am going to, however, come in and I'm going to put a little bit of Winkostella on the frosting of my cupcake, because that's just me. I like shimmer. And I think it makes this cupcake look a little extra special. Don't need much. Less is more sometimes. And if you want, if you have a steady hand, you can certainly outline the sweet in Winkostella as well. And if you don't have a steady hand and you're scared to do it, you can certainly do it before you attach it. But it's kind of, it is so thin and skinny that you may find it a little difficult to maneuver it if it's not secured down. So that's why I did it afterwards. And I think it just adds something so special to it. And I've got a little, there we go. Drop that out. And there we have it. You're the icing on my cupcake. Sweet. Now I would take a piece of very vanilla cardstock and mount that in here so that I'd have some place to write and to add my happy birthday sentiment, if it was a birthday card. Or if it was just a thank you card. So there we have it. The Gatefold card, basic Gatefold card for this Fold Friday. And next week we're going to, next week for Fold It Friday, we're going to make a variation of this so that it's next step up. So do come back next Friday for another version of a Gatefold card. So thanks for joining me. If you have any questions, certainly contact me through my blog, www.stampwithanna.blogspot.com, and in the link in the description below, you will find my blog post that has a complete list of all the products that were used in this project. Thanks so much. Have a great day.